Good evening and welcome to our Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting for Monday, August the 12th. This evening I'd like to call the meeting to order and first off ask Reverend Christine Jones if she would lead us in the invocation and following that with the pledge. Please stand.
God of wisdom and goodness, we lift up our local leaders today. We pray for all who serve the community of Tullahoma, and especially for this board. Strengthen them with wisdom and grace for the heavy burdens they carry. May they manage their tasks with care and intention. Keep their hearts pure and their minds focused on the best interests of the people they are called to serve. Especially bless those who are ending their terms of service this month. May they know our deep gratitude for the countless hours of work they have provided to the people of Tullahoma. Guide us, God, in your good way. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Jones. This time I'd like our city recorder to call the roll.
Almacher. Here. Berry.
For the last time here.
Blick.
Here.
Noes.
Here.
Mann.
Here.
Mathis.
Here.
Wilson. Present.
And we have 7 present. At this time, I'd like to open the podium to our citizens. Any citizen that is interested in speaking up to 3 minutes on anything under the purview of the board, you'll be recognized at this time. State your name and your address, please.
Good evening. Chuck Dean, 419 Albemarle Drive. And tonight I'm here on behalf of the Community Plan Development Committee, which was formed by this session of BOMA to work on behalf of the citizens of Tullahoma for a new community comprehensive plan. Other members of the committee are Elizabeth Bowling, Nancy Cheney, Greg Gressel, and Jerry Henneke. I wanted to advise you that we have completed the formulation of the plan, and we've tentatively titled it the 2045 Tullahoma Comprehensive Plan. And in making up the plan, we utilized the current 2011 comprehensive plan, which was revised, as you know, in 2023. We've also utilized the Think Tullahoma 2040 plan, which was worked up for the city. We've taken citizens' comments into consideration. We've also taken comments from local government officials as well as staff, city staff. So at this point, the plan is in the very capable hands of Charles Rush, the planning director, to present to the Planning Commission and to BOMA. I want to advise you that we made every effort to complete this task this past spring. Timing just did not work out, and regretfully, we're not able to get it in time for this session of BOMA to review it. I do trust that the new session of BOMA will review the plan and use appropriate discernment in doing so. I think I can speak for all the CPDC members and state that we do look forward to any meetings that were requested to come to clarify any questions that either the BOMA or the PC do have regarding the plan. And lastly, I'd like to thank this session of BOMA for creating the CPDC and empowering your fellow citizens to perform the work on behalf of the city of Tullahoma. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dean, and I will comment for the benefit of the audience that I did, in an email to you, express my appreciation to you and the board for the work that you've done, but I'd like to publicly thank you for that, and at this point, good job. Anyone else? If not, we'll close the comments from citizens and get into some presentations. This will be I guess, a very happy occasion for some of us, and I don't know, maybe all of us. But this time I'm going to come down to the podium and where I can make some presentations. Working with this board, it's been a pleasure to work with each of you, and I want to thank each of you for your contributions, every one of you. Some of us are moving on to other things, and at this point, I'd like to recognize those who will be moving on. And as I call your name, I'd like you to come up and I'll present you with a plaque that's fitting for your service. First off, I'd like to ask Alderman Almacher if she would come forward. Now then, I'd like to recognize Alderman Berry. As everyone knows, 4 years ago, Alderman Berry and I were in a very heated mayor's race. And during that race, Alderman Berry and I remained best of friends. I guess at that time we didn't know each other that well, but we have become best of friends. And I just want to tell everyone that when I won that race and I run that mayor's race, Alderman Berry was the first one to congratulate me. And that's why I've always appreciated that. Please come forward, Mr. Berry. Then the new kid on the block who has only served a shorter period of time due to a resignation of a previous alderman, but has become a kind of a steadying hand on this board. And for that, I want to tell him how much I appreciate him. Derek Mann, Alderman Mann, would you please come forward? This time it's kind of I'll step down from the position of the chair, yield the chair to our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Mathis.
Well, thank you, sir. Don't run off. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate everything you've done. It's not the easiest job in Tullahoma, but it's one that is appreciated by many, and you are to be congratulated for that. And this is presented to Mr. Ray Noas for his mayoral position at Tullahoma, and thank you very much.
That's what we want to do.
We want to get I'm sorry I called it back up here. Okay, if everyone wants to. Thank you. At this time, on the agenda, we'd like to get a motion on the floor to approve the agenda as presented. First, we need a motion.
I have an amendment.
Let's get the motion on the floor, and then we'll make the amendment. A second on the motion. Second amendment. Okay, we have an amendment.
All right, the amendment will be for item number 24-100. And that's to the appointment of Mr. Stanton, Tullahoma Utility Board. We have many others who want this position, so we've got to take it off of the consent, put it on the agenda, and give 30 days notice for those who want to apply for it. So it needs to be moved.
Okay, we have an amendment, and I need a second on the amendment. Have a second by...
Are we removing it completely from the agenda?
It would be a removal of the past on the
Moving
next
it.
agenda.
Moving it to the new business.
For an announcement.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll add it at the end of the, it'll be item number 34 on new business. Okay? With that, we'll go back to the original motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Put your vote on this.
Alderman Berry, you recognize.
I'd like to remove item number 32. This was an item to create a position.
Vote on the first one.
Yeah, let's vote on the first one and then.
What software?
Okay, we're voting on the First Amendment on the amendment. All in favor, please vote yes. Vote no if you disapprove. It passes 7-0. First Amendment.
I would note, just procedurally, I think one alderman can remove an item from the consent agenda and ask for it to be put on the regular agenda without vote. But it's just as well that we did, but I just wanted to.
I think this made it a different item, though. Just point of clarification. It was removed, but in its place, we aren't putting on there that we are going to reappoint Mr. Mike Stanton. What's being put on this agenda is that in notice, a 30-day notice that this will be added to the next agenda. So it's not the same item.
Oh, so a whole new agenda item.
It's essentially we removed it and added a new agenda item. So it only required one vote, like you said, because it was a removal from the consent agenda. The only thing we voted on just then was actually to add that separate item to the regular agenda.
And now we have a new amendment. Alderman Berry, you recognize.
Yeah, I'd like to remove item number 32, 24-108. That was a request for the addition of a training lieutenant position for the police department. And on that, when we did budget presentations, this was one of the items that they had listed, and which is why I added it. I'd like to be very clear in that no one from the police department approached me on this issue at all. This was me reading the budget and putting the item on there. And I think there was a lot of drama over an item that there shouldn't have been.
The amendment's been seconded by Alderman Berry. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I have discussion on this item.
Recognize Alderman Walker.
A teachable moment this turned into, so I'm not mad about you putting it on the agenda. And I'd like to share with the public a little bit about why this was teachable. We have a pretty new city administrator, and while in a lot of respects he's had a huge learning curve and has done a tremendous job. What I can appreciate about Mr. Quick on this item is that he didn't reach out to one board member. I think he reached out to several, and he asked about was this an appropriate item for the agenda, considering it was to add, after the budget, a new position that's not currently funded. That would be probably a great position for us to have, but it's after the budget season, and also we're going into the wheelhouse of Mr. Quick. Mr. Quick actually called me and asked, should this even be an item that goes on the agenda, or should we put it on the agenda? And I told Mr. Quick, yes, you put it on the agenda, because, and the reason I'm telling the rest of the board members here is because I'm leaving, and those that are coming on, you need to know. It wasn't but a few years ago, Barry, if you remember, we didn't even have the option to put items on the agenda. We, in this term, have created that and have started doing it. And I do not want the bureaucracy, whether it be a department head or a city administrator, to have the authority to not put those items on the agenda that we want on there. It can be silly as all get out, but the good thing is here, we have established those roles, and I'm proud to say that that is working, and Mr. Quick honored that. And I don't care what it was. It's the fact, I'm very proud that it worked the way it was this week, and you had an alderman who was willing to say, you know what, this probably shouldn't be on here, and I'm going to go ahead and remove it myself. And that's the way it should work. So I want to applaud everyone involved in that.
Alderman Berry, you recognize?
Yeah, just a quick, because we are looking for teachable moments. Thank you for that teachable moment. I requested this item be put on the agenda, and that was the last that I heard of it. I was never reached out to by anybody to ask me or to talk about this item. And so I think that the teachable moment there would have been to call me and email and say, Daniel, could you reconsider this? It appears that everybody but me was contacted about this item, and with that, I'd like to call that vote, unless there's any more teachable moments.
We have a motion on the floor to remove an item.
To remove the item?
To remove the item. You want to remove the item?
Can't help yourself, can you?
An item is removed.
You missed the point of the lesson.
7-0.
Don't need to explain it to you.
Okay. We have the agenda with 2 amendments, and we're ready to vote on the agenda as amended.
I have another item.
I beg your pardon?
Never mind. I'll just do it in the new business. I'll do it individually. It's fine. Never mind. Go ahead.
And we're ready to vote on the agenda as amended. And it passes 7-0. With that, we'll go back now to the agenda, and I'll I will make a change in our agenda for tonight and move the beer board up to this point in the agenda, and without objection. Aldermen and all will be adjourned, and we will call the beer board to order. Are there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the beer board in public comments? Now we'll go to approve the agenda. A motion from Barry, seconded by Mann. Ready to vote on the agenda. That passes 7-0. First thing under the agenda is to approve the consent agenda. That's the minutes from the July 8th meeting. Motion to second. We approve the full agenda, which included the consent agenda. Are we ready to vote on approval of the consent agenda? We have, okay, we're voting on the consent agenda then. You say we just did. Moving on to no unfinished business, moving into new business. And tonight we have an item on the agenda, number 24, BB44, a request to approve the beer application for manufacturer of distributor's permit for DET Beverages, 400 South Anderson Street. The motion for Barry, seconded by Mann. Is there anyone representing DET in the audience tonight?
Yes.
Come forward and tell us about your plans.
Sure. At voting or from? Voting.
Please.
Yeah, so my name's Lane Medlin. I'm with DET Beverages, DET. We're based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Currently the president at DET Beverages. We've been there for, the Detweiler family's been there for a long time, but the family I'm with, the Reyes family, has been there since 2022, and DET has recently entered a purchase agreement for Cherokee Distributing, which is based here in Tullahoma. And just this portion of Cherokee Distributing, there are other areas that they own. And so we are scheduled to close on that purchase this Friday, and here we are applying for our new beer license for this wholesaler. We represent a lot of brands that I think a lot of you all probably know in this area, and I look forward to being part of the community in Tullahoma.
We're very proud to have you as a part of our community, so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have ready to vote. It passes 7-0, so welcome again. Next item on the agenda is 24 BB45, request to approve a beer application for on-premises permit for Red Lobster down on North Jackson Street. Ms. Bridget Corley is the manager. She'll be in charge of beer sales. Ms. Corley, you into the audience tonight?
Yes.
Tell us about your operation there at Red Lobster.
We're changing ownership, so we're having to renew or change the beer permit license, whatever it's called.
You currently have a beer permit there?
Yes, sir.
This is a renewal of that permit?
They would like this to be active on September the 5th is the close of the sale. At that time, they requested me bring the beer permit on site and turn it in and pick up the new one.
Very good. How familiar are you with our policies concerning beer sales in Tullahoma?
Oh, I'm very familiar with the state liquor laws and
You're the current manager? You're the current manager?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the general manager.
How old do you have to be to sell beer in your establishment?
To sell it, 18.
And to buy beer?
21.
And what do you have in place to guarantee that your age is restricted, you're meeting those requirements?
Everyone's required to take the TABC liquor license. It's renewed every 3 years. We also have a module responsible alcohol service in our curriculum they must take. We also coach our team particularly on the red box rule. They must bring a red box ID to the manager on duty because sometimes the individual has turned 21, but the manager has to verify if they haven't renewed their license. So those are some of the policies that we do.
I am confident you will be a responsible vendor. Thank you for your service to our community.
Okay.
Thank you. Ready to vote. That passes 7-0. There being no other new business on the beer board, we'll resume our Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. Going first into approve the agenda. Oh, we missed our reports. Everybody is anxious to do their reports, I know. Since we won't be doing that every Monday night for a while. So with that, Alderman Berry, we'll let you get your report.
I'll be in Dallas at our next meeting, so this will be my last meeting. I know that I have a reputation of being a man of few words, so I don't have anything really prepared. want to say thank you to you. You had already talked about. You and I became really close over the past 4 years, 5 years, really. And I appreciate that friendship. I appreciate we've had some moments up here on this board, but I still thank and appreciate each one of you. I think that we've, through the drama, through the inner fightings, I'm pretty proud of what we've done. I know that sometimes it's tough to see, but we have a lot of things that I think have been made a lasting impact on Tullahoma, and will continue to be. Most important, I'd like to thank my family. My mother's sitting back there, and I know this has been tough on her and my siblings. I feel like Miss Ann should have gotten an award, and probably the family members probably should have gotten plaques for having to put up with being inside the blast radius. But I'd really like to thank the city staff. You guys have, until you're on the inside, you have no real idea of what goes on every single day and what it takes to keep this train rolling. And without you all, I mean, it wouldn't be possible. To the 20,000 people out here now and the thousands that come in the future, when you see somebody that's got that seal of Tullahoma, or City of Tullahoma on their shirt, stop and thank them. Even when sometimes it's frustrating because things don't always go 100%. They take pride in what they do. And so thank you. A lot of you have become friends. Looking forward to this next board and what they do. I'm looking forward to having my Monday nights and the nights we spent in meetings and committees and that back. And you can catch me on the golf course as far away from the pin probably as possible on most holes, but I'll be out there. Thank you.
Alderman Glick.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a lot of people to thank as well. I want to thank all these people, all of you guys that served on the board, that served with me, and your families. I know it's not always easy. As a matter of fact, it's rather difficult at times, and it's difficult on your families. And I appreciate your service and your willingness to give of yourself to serve the people of Tullahoma and try to make this a better place. And I think we've all done a good job, and you guys over the years, whether you've been just here a couple of years or several multiple terms, it doesn't matter. It's all the service to the city. So I want to thank each and every one of you. And then I also want to thank everybody that supported me in the recent election. I fell short, but I think I gave people a choice and gave something to go vote for. So I want to thank everybody that supported me, and I want to thank the other people that ran for alderman that did fall short as well. I mean, it's to put yourself out there, to stand for election, to try to do something to help the community is always tough, and they did a good job, and I'm proud of them just for stepping up to do that. And I want to congratulate everybody that won their board seats, and I'll be here for 2 more years, and I'm really excited to serve with each and every one of them. So. And then another group of people I want to thank is all the members of the CPDC. I was the board liaison to that committee, and we worked on the plan that was completed just recently. And that committee, I believe, has probably spent more hours in the last couple of years than any other committee made by the board that I've known of since. They met at least every week sometimes twice a week for the last 2 years, and having a couple-hour, sometimes 3-hour-long meetings to get these plans. They first revised the 2011 plan to make it a usable document going forward. That was the interim plan, is what we called it. That's the revised 2011 plan that we're using now. And then after it was adopted, they went on to finish the 2045 plan. And I want to thank each and every one of them for the selfless work they did to complete that. And that's all.
Thank you, Alderman Clinton. Mayor Pro Tem Mattis.
Thank you, Mayor. To the 4 of you who are leaving, you are to be congratulated on the effort you put forth. Everything you do is not selfish at all, very unselfishly put forth, and for that, you to be congratulated. This is not an easy job, and for you to be here and trying to run and do your best, you're appreciated for that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Almacher.
Yeah, I don't have anything particularly written succinctly. There's so much I would like to say, and I feel like when people come up to me, they don't know exactly how to say congratulations, or I'm sorry this is your last day, or my response is we should be popping bottles of champagne right now, because I do believe that there are members of this board sitting up here tonight who had bets on whether or not I would make it to this day. So whether it was by resignation or by removal. But I'm here, and the reason I'm here is because I'm a firm believer of when you sign up to do something, you sign up to do it to the best of your ability for the length that it takes, and that you do not quit. And even in the face of all adversity, you do not quit. And I didn't quit. So whether you agreed with me or disagreed with me, I ran on the basis of fiscal conservatism, government accountability, and essentially I wanted to eliminate the insulation of bureaucracy. I wanted to hold those who work here accountable and those who are on this board accountable, which made it a much tougher job for those of you who serve with me and who serve the city of Tullahoma. It's going to make it a tougher job. It should be a tough job. It should not be a rubber stamp. In the words of Ronald Reagan, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." You can't be for big government, big taxes, and big bureaucracy and still be for the little guy. I tried to sit up here and be for the little guy, and that took some going toe-to-toe with certain things up here, because your government has to think about what the city of Tullahoma has to think about what's best for the city of Tullahoma, what's the best use of our resources and allocation. They are separate. We are not the city of Tullahoma up here. A lot of people look at our board and say, "You're the city of Tullahoma." No, these guys, they're the city of Tullahoma. We are the people's voice to hold these guys accountable. And so sometimes there's a little bit of this. Sometimes up here there's a little bit of this because of the variations in what we believe is our role in this function. I'm probably the only alderman in history who spent $100,000 to sit in this seat. I ran for my seat, and I basically had to win it twice when I won the lawsuit to keep my seat. And I don't know of anybody else that's ever done that or ever been crazy enough to fight it for that long. But up here, I can tell you that there will be some remarkable changes. One of the things is I started was the small business shout out, and I started doing that for a long time. Small business shout out is now a part of this board's agenda in every packet every month. We know which businesses have opened in the city of Tullahoma, and we as board members then can share that information and go out and visit those businesses. That was not here before then. 4 years ago, we couldn't add items to the agenda. that was just unheard of. What aldermen add items to the agenda? I'm like, what have y'all been doing for the past 60, 80, 100 years? Anyways, that's something new. City of Tullahoma, your aldermen, they actively participate. They add items to the agenda. Yes, we defeated a 2040 plan that would have created pretty progressive urbanization, but contrary to popular belief, none of us up here are anti-growth. We are for responsible growth. We are pro-growth of the City of Tullahoma, but we want it to grow in the right direction, in the right way. We've started a massive revision of the city's charter, and those efforts were undertaken, and I mean, that was Derek Mann all the way, and we really owe him a lot on those efforts. We have several new department heads, including the city administrator, Parks and Rec, the police chief, planning. If there was a Tullahoma swamp, honey, y'all, we've drained it. So whether or not you agree with the changes, the good news is there is a horizon, and you are in the best situation possible going in the future. And it takes a little bit of that. Sometimes it takes a war to create and pave the way for freedom. And I hope that the wars that we've had up here have done just that for you, the citizens of Tullahoma. So of the people, by the people, for the people, is what I hope that the next board will continue the legacy of and continue to represent our constitutional republic. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to serve. And thank you to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for putting up with me for the last 4 years.
Thank you, Alderman Baumgartner. Alderman Wilson.
Thanks, Mayor. My report is very similar to the sentiments of other board members. I would like to thank the 4 outgoing aldermen for their service to their city of Tullahoma, and also to their family, because I know from sitting in this chair what all is involved in that. And I would also like to congratulate and to let the oncoming new members of the board know that we welcome you and look forward to serving with you as well. And also would like to thank each member, both present and past, of the CPDC in the vast undertaking that they spent the past 20 months revamping our plan to get it to where it needs to be, and that was a lot, and we appreciate you, and I look forward to that coming before this new board in a upcoming agenda.
Thank you, Alderman Wilson. Alderman Mann.
Thank you, Mayor Noes. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for coming to the reception this evening. Thank you to our city staff for putting it on. The past 2 years have been quite a ride. Yes, it has certainly been colorful at times, and yes, this board did not see eye to eye on everything. There was a lot of change, for sure. I myself sit in a seat that was originally meant for someone else. Our city staff has seen changes, and certainly our city has as a whole. But as I sit here this evening and reflect back on the last 2 years, I'm reminded of a quote. I'm not sure of the author, but it simply says, "What we leave behind is what we take with us." I know that some of what we leave behind on this board will be viewed as negative, no doubt of that. But what I will take with me as I leave this role are the many good things that we were able to do. I look at our great department heads we have in this room. Several of them were confirmed by this board, and they have excelled since then in their new roles. This board voted to equip our police with better vehicles, radios, and equipment, and to put a school resource officer in every school. The Johnson Lane restrooms are finally being built. New stadium lights shine on Wagner Park. We passed 2 budgets with 0 tax increases and without taking away $1 from our city services. We voted to become one of the first cities in Middle Tennessee to have a safe baby box, and I'm excited to say construction is underway on that. We voted to put in place a new and better standard for street cuts to help better maintain our roads. And our city has seen so much positive growth and development during the last 2 years, with more to come. But the vote, personally, I'm proudest of is the one we all cast to make Jason Quick our city administrator. Since taking over, Jason has made an enormous difference. He works tirelessly to move this city in the right direction, and I personally have seen him work with citizens firsthand, making them feel heard and finding solutions to their problems. He's working to create a better environment for our city staff to work in. He's had to make tough choices when needed and set our city on a better course for the future. I personally want to thank him for making my job on this board one I have enjoyed doing. But nothing we've done up here would be possible without our incredible city staff. I want to thank our department heads for always being willing to sit down with me to help me with any questions or concerns I had. I can honestly say that the group we have leading our departments instills so much optimism in me for the future of Tullahoma. They are, in my opinion, the best we've ever had. That's the one thing that I want citizens to take away as I leave this seat. Our city has the most talented and exceptional group of people working here. Before I was an alderman, my experience in City Hall was to come here once a year and write a check that no one wants to be writing. What I never had till now was the opportunity to see and get to know the faces behind everything that helps make this city so special. To meet the folks that start before the sun rises, taking care of our streets, our garbage, our recycling. To ride along and see firsthand the bravery and selflessness of our police and the dangers and risks they and our outstanding firefighters face every day. To watch behind the scenes as our Parks and Rec pull off the tall task year after year of putting on our Independence Day celebration and so many other events. So much of what our departments do often goes unnoticed. But no matter who sits up here, our city staff has been and will continue to be the backbone of this community. Their passion, their pride in their work, and their love of this city shows in everything they do. I leave here prouder of Tullahoma, not because of what I did while I was here, but because I've seen what they do. I'm so grateful to have gotten to know you all and to have worked with you in some small way. To our new board members, I wish you all nothing but the best. I can promise you, I will never stand at that podium. I will never criticize you online or in the paper. It's your time now. You all deserve the chance to be the best board you can be. Your successes will be our community's successes, and I, for one, will be pulling for each of you every step of the way. I want to thank so many of you who have supported me during my time as alderman, your kind words, your encouragement, your advice, your patience. It has all meant so much, and I will be forever grateful. To the critics, I thank you too. Because no matter if you have supported me or this board, or disagreed with everything we did, all of you are involved. You're paying attention, and I hope you'll continue to do so, because that's how we make a better Tullahoma for everyone. I have to thank my amazing staff at the office, JD, Kim, Crystal, Richard, and Jack. This would not have been possible for me without them stepping up, taking on more, and allowing me the time to pursue this endeavor. To my family, my parents, Jeff and Joyce, to Bob and Kim, and most of all, to Katie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all have been my rock, my motivation in everything I do, and I'm so fortunate to have you all in my corner. And I hope you're ready to enjoy hearing a whole lot less of me talking about city government. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Tullahoma. It's been an incredible honor and privilege to serve this city. From South Jackson and our arts community to AEDC and the many aerospace companies that support it. From our top-notch schools and our utility authority to our thriving small businesses and the dedicated people that work in them. We have so much to be excited about, so much potential and so many opportunities. And I know it's a little cliche to say this, but it's so very true. Tullahoma's best days are still ahead, and I look forward to sharing them with all of you. Thank you, and God bless.
Can I just say ditto? I certainly couldn't say it any better. But I do want to reflect a little bit, since we're in a reflecting mode tonight. In 1958, I was a freshman at the University of Tennessee. Lived in Lawrence County. On the way to Knoxville, I came along through Lynchburg and Tullahoma. Tullahoma had just built a new high school, the $1 million high school at that time, out on the outskirts of town. It was way out beyond the cemetery. And coming in on that drive in from Lynchburg toward Tullahoma, I thought, what a pretty town this is. Driving through Tullahoma and on out through Manchester, I thought I'd sure like to live in Tullahoma. That's a nice place. Well, 8 years later, I got the chance to come to AEDC, move to Tullahoma. And I've been here 57 years since. And I am proud, thankfully, in fact, that I, along with my wife Ann, that we made the decision to come to Tullahoma. I'm proud of Tullahoma. And you won't hear me bashing Tullahoma in any way because of all the things that Alderman Mann has alluded to in some detail, but we have this board has accomplished so much. And yes, there's been differences of opinion on this board. But I think we're all better for our time that we've served on this board. For one thing, we know each other better, we appreciate each other better, and we can have civil conversations with each and every one of us. So if one thing that I have done as mayor and serving on this board, I have respected each person on this board. And I will leave this board respecting every one of you and thanking you for your service. For those of you who are continuing, you've got 2 more years to accomplish things. And you'll have a good mayor to help you get that done, so you help him. But with that, I can't leave this tonight without thanking my wife, Ann, who is here at the back row, trying to stay out of sight. But my wife, Ann, has not attended any of the board meetings. It was my choice that she didn't. But she said, I'm going to attend this one. Okay, so you're here. Anyway, I do want to thank her for allowing me to serve here on this board. I've sat in this board at the desk here every board meeting, have not missed a one in 9 years. I felt like it was important to do that. I made a commitment to do that. Thankfully, I have been able to do that through some adversity along the way, but I didn't miss a meeting. But again, those outgoing board members, thank you. And for you new members, I know that you'll do great things in the 2 years that you have left to serve. So with that, again, thank you to this board, and to those who came tonight to show your appreciation to this board, thank you, because you're the heart of the city, for sure. So with that, we'll move from our reports from our board, our staff, move to the city attorney, and John Skitz.
Thank you, Mayor. The city attorney has no report. Mr. Worsham will have his litigation report at the next meeting.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure I'll be here to make it. We'll be here at the next board meeting to do that. Some of the board members may not be here for the next board meeting, but just because we'll be installing new members doesn't mean that all the old outgoing members don't. You can still come. So I know you're going to be in Dallas, but I'll be here to pass the gavel. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, we'll hear now our report from our city administrator, Mr. Quick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
First, I want to thank Robin Morrison, who put together this reception for our outgoing members. She does such a wonderful job, and I just want to say thank you publicly for all that you do for not only me, but for the mayor and for the aldermen. It means an awful lot, and the strength and support you continue to show us is just amazing, so I want to say thank you. Attended the TML conference along with Alderman Glick, Alderman Allmacher, and the mayor. Really good conference. Was able to spend time talking with others in our similar position, and was able to come back with some really good ideas that hopefully we'll be looking to implement at some point. Several members of our staff, including from finance and from HR, went through a demo with UKG and their human resource information system. This is something that we're going to be looking to bring to the next board at some point to bring to them for approval. It's something we already have in the budget. What it's going to do is it's going to streamline so many manual processes that we have right now and allow our people to work smarter, not harder. And it's going to help us to have a better records retention as well. So look forward to bringing that up. The governor, in his last state budget, he put into his package retention bonuses for our policemen and our SROs. So I want to say thank you to the governor for that. Very well appreciated, I know, by all in the police department. Alderman Glick, J.P. Kraft, who is our Parks and Rec director, and I, we're looking at pickleball opportunities and possibilities, and come up with a great idea, thanks to Alderman Glick, on some potential locations and other things that we're looking at, hopefully to bring to the new board in the next several months. We're going to be sending out RFQs to potential vendors to look at getting that going. Pickleball seems to be the hottest thing that we have in Tullahoma as far as interest in the community, and how can we help them have more courts, better courts, outdoor courts, lit courts, those types of things. So really looking forward to that. We had 14 new businesses in July, and that makes 128 for the year, which is stronger than what we've had in the past by a few here or there. We still continue to see an awful lot of encouraging signs as far as people looking to relocate to Tullahoma from a business standpoint. I know our TAEDC director, Winston Brooks, is continuing to speak with a lot of different entities that are looking to come here, and continue to look forward to hearing more news coming. Hopefully we'll have a couple of things we can announce in the next 60 to 90 days. I want to look at a couple of things real quick. Page 16, if the aldermen will look when they get a chance, for our Employee of the Month, which was Paul McCown from the fire department. And I hope you'll take time to read that story. And it goes to show he's a great example of a role model for service, and what he was able to do for one of our elderly residents went above and beyond talking about fire extinguishers and expiration dates, but he was able to bring a sense of comfort to her, and more importantly to her son, who does not live in the city, and he wrote a really nice email to Chief Pearson, and I think it's just a great example of what I see our employees do on a daily basis. I just think that was outstanding. One of the things that I'm really most proud of is, if you look on page 15, August 1st, 2023, about a year ago, our turnover rate for employees was 23.8%, which for a city our size and for a employee group our size, that's pretty strong. That's not in a good way. I'm happy to report August 1st of this year, our turnover rate is 7%. That's a 16.8% drop. And I can't tell you how proud I am of that for our department heads. I see how they provide leadership every day, and I see the cultures that they create within their departments. And for us to drop almost 17 points in a year is nearly unheard of. And it's just a great testament to the work culture, the environment that we continue to seek to create. Orientation for our new board members will be a week from today. I'm putting together, Robin and I are putting together packets to get into their hands. We're going to have a schedule. I'll be looking to send out that to them shortly, and I'm going to also make sure to invite our remaining board members to make sure you're a part of that. If you can come or be a part of any of that, I think that might be good. If you can, we'd love to have you. I want to say thank you to the aldermen and the mayor. You took a chance on me, and I will never forget that. And I appreciate all the support that you've shown me. I appreciate the lessons you've taught me.
And I will tell you that it has made me a better city administrator, I can guarantee you. And it's going to help propel me to hopefully become a stronger leader for not only our staff, but also for the city of Tullahoma. And it will not be lost on me at all. Last, I want to say, again, thanks to our leadership group. You know, when I hear people brag on them, it really means a lot. But when I sit here and look at them, they're an excited bunch, right? I just want to say thank you, and I tell you this every time we meet. We have a meeting usually twice a month. We call it Leadership Tullahoma, which is our department heads come together, and we share ideas, we share challenges, we share struggles. But the one thing that we share is a common love, as has been stated, for the city of Tullahoma and the leadership they provide. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. You truly are remarkable, and I would put you up against any city our size in the state of Tennessee, because I agree that we have the most talented group of people here, and I think we are uniquely positioned for this strategic quality growth that we're looking for. That's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. This time we'll get into the items on the agenda. First thing is the consent agenda. It's been modified, but I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as modified. Motion from Mann.
Hang on, she needs to back up.
We'll do it again.
We've already approved it.
Okay.
I think you have to reapprove it since we changed it.
Changed it, so got a motion from Mann, second by Glick. All in favor of approving the consent agenda?
I move to approve. We'll just start that one.
We can vote. Everybody vote for the consent agenda, raise your hand. Passes 7-0. We move into new business.
There you go, Mayor.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business. Excuse me. Ordinance number 1637, a request to rezone the property on 415 East Lincoln Street from general commercial C2 to C3, which is neighborhood commercial. Motion from Glick, seconded by Mann. It's on second reading. No questions? Ready to vote. Passes 7-0. Ordinance number 1638, ordinance of the city of Tullahoma to amend the ordinance number 1594, adopting the annual budget tax rate for the fiscal year July 1, 23 to 24 for the passage on second reading. Motion from Barry, second by Glick. Ready to vote? Passes 7-0. No other unfinished business. We'll move into new business, and under new business we have items where we're funding the nonprofits. Items 7 through 25 are all essentially the same resolution, just different entities that we're funding. So I'll read the resolution on the first one, resolution number 1989 through item number 25 is resolution number 2007. Get a motion on the floor to approve them as a group. Motion from Barry, second by Mann. And the resolution is a resolution authorizing appropriation of financial aid to Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce and to the Hands-On Science Center, Historic Preservation Society, South Jackson Performing Arts Center, Tennessee Backroads Heritage, Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, Civil Air Patrol, Coffee County Lanham Library, Coffee County Senior Citizens, Coffee County Humane Society, Skills Development Center, Tennessee Rehabilitation Center, Tullahoma Daycare, Central Human Resources, Tullahoma Sports Council, Court-appointed Special Advocates for Children, Horseplay, Imagination Library, and Tullahoma Community Foundation. So with that, Alderman Almacher, you're recognized.
I don't know if there'd be any support for this, Mayor, but I know that this has been something that we have looked at revising for quite some time is the appropriations and how we're doing this. And I don't feel it appropriate for us to do it as a Hail Mary at this point or anything. But what I do think might be appropriate is for, rather than us approve these appropriations tonight, for the new board to look at these appropriations, and it will essentially be, their time. We have a quorum. A majority of this board will be replaced at this next meeting. And with the size of these appropriations, if you look at them collectively, I just find it appropriate that they might be involved in that, since even though we just passed the budget, they need to be aware of the appropriations and what's going on. And I don't know that when I first came on, because that had all just been done right before me, that I was even aware and understood how all of this worked. So if there is support, and if there isn't, that's fine too. But I'd like to make a motion to pass this or postpone this to the next meeting, these items.
I will remind you that this board is the one that's approved the funding for these nonprofits already.
I'm aware. So if the funding is already approved, then this is basically just approving the resolutions. I think it just gives them awareness and an opportunity to.
We have a motion to postpone. Ready to vote on the motion? You need a second. So that dies for lack of a second. Vote on the original motion. Vote on the original motion to fund these as a unit.
Motion to amend. Maybe they took the thing off the wall too soon.
There you go.
Now we're ready to vote. Passes 7-0. Moving down to item number 24102. The request from the Public Works Department to approve the use of the FY 24-25 budgeted funds for a state route strip patching. Funds will not exceed the budget amount of $130,869. These funds will be reimbursed to the city once the work has been completed. Motion from Barry, second by Mann. Go to the city administrator for background.
This is something that we do on an annual basis with the Tennessee Department of Transportation as we continue to seek repairs and paving on both 41 and 55. It's something we've done every year, and look forward to working with the state and see if we can get our streets in better shape, and specifically those two areas.
Any questions? Not ready to vote. Passes 7-0. Item number 24103, request from the Public Works Department to approve the surplus of 2008 John Deere tractor and E2659, and to approve the purchase of a John Deere 2075E open station utility tractor using Sourcewell Contracting, EG, that's 082923 DHC. The price is $32,578.84. Replacement for the right-of-way mower. Got a motion from Barry, second by Mann. City administrator recognized.
Right now we have the 2008 tractor, and it is down for repairs. The repair estimate that we have is in excess of $16,000. In speaking with our director, Mr. Taylor, the cost to repair is not going to give us enough life out of a tractor, and he believes that a new tractor after 16 years is what we need to do. Usually a tractor, from my understanding, if we can get 10 years out of it, properly maintained, that's good. But for us to have gotten another 6, I think we've done a really good job with that. We have this money budgeted for any kind of replacement of equipment.
Okay. There's no questions. We're ready to vote. Passes 7-0. Item number 24104, request from the Public Works Department to approve and exercise the provision in the paving contract to extend the bid for a second extend to the paving contract with Rogers Group. Authorize the mayor to sign the letter requesting extension of the contract on the city's behalf. Motion from Barry, second by Glick. City Administrator is recognized.
Again, we have a contract that we executed in last year's budget. In that contract, it allows for an extension. Steve Moran of the Rogers Group has been an outstanding vendor for the city of Tullahoma and supporter of the city of Tullahoma in any of our opportunities for sponsorship. So we're asking that we just follow the contract because of their great service to us, and we extend the contract by a year.
There's no questions. We're ready to vote. That passes 7-0. 24105, request from the Planning Codes Department to approve a request from a special community event sign in the public right-of-way and waive the permit fees for the Lord Heal Our Land Prayer Walk on 2024. Motion from Barry, seconded by Mann. There's no question. We're ready to vote on that as well. That passes 7-0. 24106, request from the police department for authorization to surplus one obsolete patrol vehicle. That's a 2010 Ford Explorer. Motion from Barry, seconded by Mann. City Administrator recognized.
I know Deputy Chief Kennedy is going to really hate seeing this vehicle go. For those of you that haven't seen it, this vehicle has definitely served its purpose. It is not one that we are able to transfer down as we typically do with vehicles. We'll try to transfer them down, but this one is not available. Is not ready for any further use. So we ask that the board approve for this to be surplused.
And if there's no questions, we're ready to vote. Passes 7-0. Item 24107, the request from the Parks and Rec Department and the Community Engagement to apply for a Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Places grant application. No matching funds will be required. Motion for Barry, second by Mann. Or vice versa. City Administrator, you recognized.
I want to congratulate J.P. Kraft and Lyle Russell for continuing to look for grant opportunities that will increase or enhance the quality of life. This particular grant is one that, as you had mentioned, Mayor, is fully funded. It does not require a match. I believe we have applied for this in the past. We feel pretty comfortable that we're understanding more and more the process of what they're looking to do for approval, and we're asking that you approve the ability for us to go ahead and compete for this grant.
If there's no questions, we're ready to vote. That passes 7-0. 24108 has been removed. Item number 24109. It's a request from Alderman Berry for the bollards to be reinstalled at the previous locations on North Wall Street, on that alleyway, and for one-way signs to be removed. Alderman Berry, seconded by Mann. And Alderman Berry, that's your motion?
Yeah, we had bollards there for years, and then I actually was one of the people who voted to remove those bollards. And every now and then you get it wrong. And so this is one that I can rectify. It's pretty dangerous out there. We've tried it for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I've almost been hit. Like my mother, we don't go down there frequently. She was almost hit. People kind of tunneling through there. They still go multiple directions, and hopefully we can save a vehicle and save somebody from getting hit down there. I think we were all at dinner one night and somebody got hit down there, and he was in the hospital. You went and visited him. So this is one I'm glad that I can rectify, hopefully.
Alderman Mann.
As someone who pulls in and out of there every day, you would have thought taking those down would have made things better, but it's certainly made it much worse. You have people using that as a road to speed through to dodge the train, which has made it more hazardous. A lot of the businesses downtown, they've had issues with their employees. I had an employee about a year ago get hit just pulling out because they were coming too fast, didn't see him pulling out. So this will be a very good thing. As a downtown resident, I personally would really appreciate seeing this happen. It'll make a big difference, be a lot safer.
Any comments? Alderman Berry, I have been on this board for 9 years, and that's been an issue ever since I've been on this board. And I was so happy when we got those bollards removed. In fact, that was a major consideration for this board back then, to get those bollards removed. And I think there's probably a compromise where the bollards could be installed for parts of the day during traffic period and removed in other parts of the day. I don't know what that compromise would be, but in my opinion, I've not had an issue with the bollards being removed. I do have an issue with them going back, so I'll vote against it. Alderman Hallmark.
I would like to get the take of the other business owners, especially London's and Daddy Billy's and the bank, because my understanding was at one point, one of the reasons for removal was because their supply trucks had such a hard time doing delivery, getting in and out of there. They had to almost coordinate because you couldn't get 2 supply trucks there at the same time, or everybody, including in every business, would be blocked off. And I'm trying to remember, because it's been a few years ago, there were some compelling reasons we removed them. And then I know that there was a lot of reasons for them to stay in place, especially when London's had that outdoor venue, which I still hope that the city will look at working something out for them to be able to bring that back. That's reasonable. If that were to come back, certainly the bollards would be almost necessary for safety with an outdoor venue and people walking, right through there. And I think one of the things that we did say was, what could we do? Could they stay up during the week, maybe, and then come down on the weekends? Or stay up, during business hours of the day, 8 to 5 or something like that, and then they'd be down at night. And one of the things that I want to say Public Works told us was just how much of a hassle it was and how difficult, based on the size and the weight of these bollards, to put them up and down. And then I thought, well, what if we got different bollards? What if we could create something that was a little more automated, or a little more easy to put up and down. So I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm with the mayor on this one. I believe that maybe there is a compromise that, but I would be interested in what all of the business owners have to say, but I'm definitely concerned with the safety aspect as well.
Alderman Wilson, you recognize?
Thanks, Mayor. I agree that it's a dangerous area over there. I think it's dangerous all around the square. I'd like to see the speed limit reduced around there to a lower speed than 30. People backing out, but that's neither here nor there. For this, I would be interested. I was not able to get to all the businesses down there about this, but I would like to get a consensus from the business owners of the impact to their business, kind of a survey of what they think about that. I think it's probably a good idea, but it would be interesting to know how it would impact the businesses. So I'd like to see this maybe put off until we could get that done.
Make a motion.
You recognize? Excuse me, Alderman.
I think she's going to make a motion.
Alderman Gluck.
I just want to speak in favor of putting the bollards back up. I've been in the downtown area a lot, and I know that's a hazardous area both to walk and to drive in. And when you get to the end of the alley to Lincoln Street you can't pull out very easily anyway. And then also the buildings, the way they are right there, it's kind of a blind intersection for pedestrians on the sidewalk and cars coming. It's an accident waiting to happen, and if delivery trucks have to coordinate their deliveries, I think that's just something that they're just going to have to do, and I don't think it'd be that tough for them to do. I think the safety of it and the convenience of it is predominant reason to do it, but also with them there, I think it makes just a kind of a nice overall area of town that's pedestrian friendly and could be very attractive to have people come and mill around and hang out there. So I'm strongly in favor of putting the bollards back up.
I had the pleasure of going to, is it called Market Square? Is that the name of it? In downtown Knoxville. And I think with the bollards up, I think that the whole downtown area, I think for the future of it, if we could start limiting traffic through that area or figure out a way to make that less of a commutable there on East Lincoln and around that, I definitely could see how putting those bollards up could make it more attractive and obviously a much safer venue. I just hate to do anything without first speaking, or this board, future board, whoever's doing it, because I haven't spoken with them, doing anything to obviously Derek is a business owner there, but I'd love to know what the other owners have to say before we make decisions that affect their business.
I'll remind this board that it was a previous board that agreed to take those bollards down. It's not this board that put them up, or took them. It's not this board that took them down. It was a previous board. Any further comments? If not, we're ready to vote. This is not the first time that I've been outvoted 6-1.
But it will be the last.
But let me tell you one thing, it'll be the last time.
It will be the last.
Okay. With that, I beg your pardon? Okay, we do have another item on here. We are announcing a vacancy on the TUA board, and anyone that's interested in serving on the TUA board, they need to understand the requirements for a board member there. They're not trivial. So if you're interested, avail yourself of that information and fill out a citizen participation form, and we'll have an election to that position at our first new board meeting in September for the new board. With that, there being no other unfinished business, and the beer board is already done, so this board will be done, and I'm done.